And we're back. It's Loraba Mansion. It's also where we'll get to fight the second boss of the game.
Hopefully he's not as dangerous as the first one.
Oh yeah. That death, man, he was tough.
He'll never live it down.
It's okay. He'll show up plenty difficult in other games. As you can see, we're running up against the clock here because we're on day 5, and if we want to break the curse before it's too late, we only have a few more days. Thankfully, this traversing the mansion doesn't cost us any time, so that's a plus. I wonder if these mansions are supposed to exist outside of the normal time-space continuum, and that's why time doesn't pass while you're inside.
Interesting thought. I know it works that way for a few haunted houses.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's in a pocket dimension.
Would make sense. Maybe that would somehow explain why random oak and steak sellers are just wandering around these places.
Got trapped there. All they can do now is sell a steak.
You can just imagine Dracula having a meeting with all these heads of these mansions. Okay, so I put you in charge of this mansion. You put my body part in a orb that can only be destroyed with an oak stake. Yet you failed to get rid of the merchants who were wandering around in the same mansion selling oak stakes.
Sorry, boss.
This is supposed to be the Mask of Loraba. Actually, I can check that out. Let me grab my NES Atlas, which I believe names this boss. NES Game Atlas. Never leave home without it. No, it's called the Weeping Mask. I like my name better. Anyway, ridiculously easy boss, even easier than death. That's saying something. Now we possess Dracula's ring, and we get the magic cross from the Weeping Mask, so we're almost done. The cross doesn't do anything notable, it's just one of the items that you have to kill Dracula. And the ring will allow you to break a certain block that will let you get into Castle Dracula.
It doesn't do anything else?
No. Strictly useful for breaking one block. Or maybe 2 blocks. And that
Mario
was
is laughing at you.
Oh noes! We have to continue. As you can see, no more. We lost all our experience points and all our hearts, but we bought just about everything we're ever going to need, so kind of a moot point now. Also, spikes hurt. Just say no to
Good
spikes.
enough.
Remember, kids, if a spike seller comes up to you and says, "Want to get stabbed?" just say no. Anyway, that mysterious stranger just gave us a whole bag full of laurels. I think it's a bag full. Which will be extremely useful for both getting back through the marshes and for the final boss, which I'll admit I usually use laurels because he can kill you fairly quickly if you're not careful. Oh yes, and I did do a little bit of homework, and the garlic does freeze an enemy in place and do continuous damage. And yes, you can use garlic on Dracula, and it will kill him. Slowly, but it will kill him. Alright, time for our last bit of backtracking. Yes, that person did give us all the laurels we could hold. Makes getting that silk bag really worthwhile. I'm not gonna waste another laurel just to get through this little patch. Actually, for those who are curious, you don't technically have to buy your oaken stakes in the same mansion as the orb that you're going to destroy. As long as you have an oak stake, you can use it. So if you wanted to, you could go ahead and before leaving a mansion, go ahead and buy a second oak stake after you've used the first one, and have it on hand. So in case that there's a particularly out-of-the-way merchant in the next mansion.
I kind of remember doing that.
It's useful because some of them can be difficult to find, and a good example is the one in the next mansion. The next mansion, here we are. Next time, we'll go through the final mansion, and maybe, just maybe, we'll go to Castle Dracula. See you then.